All right, we're back on We Found Music at Dash Radio. We're joined by our friend ALEC Benjamin.
Hello.
Welcome to the studio, man.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
What did you play for us?
I played 2 songs that I wrote. First one is called The Water Fountain, and the second one is called End of the Summer.
Awesome. What's The Water Fountain about?
The Water Fountain is about, I guess it's about someone loving you, and you just like sort of, you being too young at the time, and then when you grow up and you like them, then they don't like you. I guess it's sort of about a misconnection, but it was a misconnection that started by a water fountain.
Okay.
So when I was really young, in like elementary school, there was this place on the playground that everyone hung out, and it was I guess it was a drinking fountain, but we called it the water fountain. So that was like the inspiration for the song.
Nice. That's been doing pretty well lately, hasn't it?
I didn't really like the song when I first wrote it, and then I didn't even want to put it out, and then like I just woke up one day and I was like, well, I'll just put it on YouTube, and then kids just started streaming it and really liked it, and then I went on tour with this artist named John Bellion, and I did like 3 shows and I didn't play the song, and on the 4th show I was like, you know what, I'm gonna just try to play it. And then I was getting messages online like, hey man, what's that song? So
Nice.
I was like, oh, maybe I'll just make a music video. So it's not like one of those things where people find it and it's like an instant like smash. I don't know what's going to happen with it, but I know that people enjoy it, and that's like what I want to do, make music that people enjoy.
That's awesome, man. Well, actually, End of the Summer, I saw a lot of attention on that one. I really enjoyed that one. That's what introduced me to you.
Cool. Oh, awesome.
So thank you for playing that for us today.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a jam right there. It's one of my favorites of the year.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
All right, so let's get to know you a little bit.
All right.
So where are you from, and do you think where you're from has an influence on your music?
Yeah, I'm from Arizona, and it definitely does, because growing up in Arizona is definitely different than growing up in LA. It's kind of, I don't know, it's not like a small town, but it's smaller than Los Angeles, and just like being a kid from the desert, I don't know, it's cool, I think, and so I definitely get a lot of inspiration from the things that happened to me, like when I was in school, and I don't know, just like inspired by the scenery, and I don't know, everything in Arizona is like very dramatic because it's so dry, and I think that kind of inspires a lot of lyrics and inspires a lot of I guess, I don't know, it's just a lot of cool vibes in Arizona. Like
cool, man.
Yeah.
So how old are you now, and then when did you start writing music?
So I'm 22 now, and I started writing music when I was 15. I wrote my first song when my grandpa died,
Wow.
and that song is called Beautiful Pain, and I still play that song to this day.
It's a good story behind it too, and I'm sure that means a lot to you.
Yeah.
The whole song.
Mm-hmm.
That's really, that's a young age. So you've been playing for a while.
Yeah.
And but it's starting to build for you. Who are some of your biggest musical inspirations?
My biggest inspirations, I guess. Well, the first album that I purchased for myself was the Eminem Show. So Eminem is one of my favorite artists. I go back and forth all the time, but the first album I ever had was a Beach Boys album, and I didn't even remember that. And then I went back and was listening to the Beach Boys like a few weeks ago, and I was like, how do I know the words to all these songs, And so I feel like that has definitely had an inspiration on me, even though I don't actively listen to the Beach Boys all the time. And then I'm a really big fan of Paul Simon. I like Citizen Cope. I like Jason Mraz,
Nice.
singer-songwriters. But I listen to, a host of different things. But I'm not one of those guys that's like, I listen to everything, bro. I don't. Yeah.
Yeah, you probably obsess over certain artists, of course. Yeah. And I mean, I find that I know the lyrics to stuff that I started with, like the Beach Boys, It's just like, that's where it's most influential, and just like you remember those words the rest of your life. Yeah. You could like not listen to it for years, and then you throw it on and you're like, oh, yeah. I know every lyric.
Exactly. The last time I listened to that, it's funny because I find myself singing back totally like the wrong lyrics, just like the sounds that I remember hearing because I had that album when I was like 4 or 5 or something. I remember I used to say to my mom, like, yo, can you play like this song or that song? And I wasn't saying the words right, but I still remember the words incorrectly. It's but it's cool. And then you can listen to it and get something new from it now.
So you've been playing for a few years. What instruments do you play?
I play piano and I play guitar. I never used to call like the voice an instrument, but now I do, because I feel like it is an instrument, and you have to practice a lot. So I guess singing is one of the instruments as well.
Yeah, it's definitely an instrument for you. Yeah. It's a prominent part of your songs, and you have quite a voice there. You've been playing a lot, probably some live shows. How long have you been playing shows?
I've been playing shows for a while, but I didn't really get serious about playing shows until about 4 months ago. And I looked at the calendar and I was like, all right, I need to play 200 shows by the end of this year.
Wow.
So it doesn't matter where I play, who I play for, like how many people are there. It's just like I have to play 4 songs, and it has to be live, and it has to be for people I haven't played for before, and that counts as a show. So I've done 106 up to today, and that means I have the rest of a year to get 200. So I hope I complete.
Let's do some
goal.
shows.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you write most of your music on your own? Do you write with other people?
I do co-writes, but only with people that I'm like really close with and have a close relationship with, because I want my music to feel genuine, and I want it to come from a place. I want it to come from an honest place. So I write all my lyrics. My lyrics are all from me, and melodies and things like that. But, I have a few close friends, like my friend Brandon, that I make videos with on the internet all the time, where, we just get each other, and he has great ideas and suggestions and melodies and, lyric suggestions and things. And that's cool because it feels organic, and I like that. I also write with this guy named Dan Wilson a lot. And he's become like a really, really cool mentor. And it's awesome.
That's awesome, man. Well, it sounds like you have your homies you like to just think hard about music, make music with. So you mentioned you've played 106 shows up to date this year.
Yeah.
That's amazing, man. Let's see. Do you have a favorite song that you've written?
My favorite song I've written is a song I wrote called I Built a Friend. And it's about a boy who doesn't have any friends, and he builds a robot, and then life takes its course, and he moves out, goes to college, meets a girl. He doesn't see his friend as much anymore, and when he comes back to see his friend, he finds that his friend killed himself by pouring a glass of water on his head, and it's like short-circuited his body, and it's called I Built a Friend. It's like a coming-of-age kind of song, yeah. It's not as sad as it is sad, yeah. Never mind.
Well, hey, it's a story. It takes people on a ride. So cool, man. Well, so you have a bunch of singles out. Do you have any like EPs or albums out?
I think like my plan is to just kind of like, put out songs. Like I feel like the EP and like an album is like, it's cool, but I feel like it's something that like we just created, and that kind of structure makes it hard for me to like continue to be creative, because it's like, oh, well, what is a record? Like I just want to keep giving people a constant stream of songs, because that's what I do. So I decided like I'm going to put out at least 1 song a week. And I just put it up on YouTube. I don't care how many people listen to it. I want people to listen to it, but I want them to be genuine views. So yeah. I just want people to come on and listen to my songs. And like, I don't want it to just be like, oh, I made an album. And then like people make a record and then they don't keep writing because they're like, oh, well, I haven't put my album out yet. And that is bad for my mind.
Oh, I feel that.
I like to write songs and put music out because of the feedback that I get. I want people to hear it. So
a natural reaction, and then just build on that.
Yeah,
that's
cool. Have to have it out. Yeah.
So what would you say your ultimate goal is?
Well, I think if you would have asked me that like a few years ago, I'd have a different picture. But I think my ultimate goal right now is to just sort of build up enough of a support system where there are people coming out to see me in every state, and there are people who are listening to my songs, and it's like I can build like a real sort of a real movement, and that's what I want to do.
Just build a true fan base for Alec Benjamin, the artist, and a real movement for you.
And also the thing too is like I've become over the last few months like actually really close with a lot of the people who follow me, and it's not just like fans, it's like people who just like, I just feel like it's more of like a support thing, because like I don't ever intend, and I probably never will, but like have that like Justin Bieber effect or like the Shawn Mendes effect, like whatever. I love those, they're cool artists, but like I don't really care. Like I would love to just have someone come to a show and be like, yo man, like I really wanted to meet you because like your song had this kind of impact on my life, and have it more be like that kind of a connection. I feel like that support is like what's starting to happen, and I like that.
Awesome. Yeah. Cool. Well, we're catching on, and
naturally,
organically, we caught on to you, and hopefully every day you're getting more and more fans just like that. I like the approach, man. I'm impressed with what you're doing, and especially the constant, releases, and just doing it as natural it seems as you can.
Yeah, I just want people to know who I am, and like I'm not the kind of person that wants to make like, I always felt uncomfortable about making like a big fanfare about a release.
Sure.
Someone's like, 6 weeks ahead we got to like post like a snippet and this, and it's like, yo, I wrote a song.
Yeah.
Listen to it.
Cool.
Yeah.
I agree with you. That's awesome, man. And then do you have like, you mentioned you record a lot of content. Do you have like a YouTube channel?
I have a YouTube channel. That's where everything goes up. It's just my name, Alec Benjamin. Well, it's youtube.com/Alec Benjamin Music. But yeah, that's where I put all my things. And I make some vlogs. I make some things where like, because I like to tell stories in my songs, I've made a few videos that talk about my words. So
All right.
just like, hey, this is what I wrote the song about. It's called The Story Behind the Story.
Excellent, man. Well, we're stoked on you, and we're excited to do some stuff with you coming up.
Awesome.
But thank you so much for stopping in the studio for now, and we'll do more in the future. So this is ALEC Benjamin, and I guess what's the most recent single out right now?
The most recent single that I have out, I put out a song. Well, I guess the one I want people to hear right now is A Water Fountain. But I put out a song called Animal.
Animal. Yeah. All right, cool. Go check out Animal and The Water Fountain.
Yeah.
And End of the Summer.
Yeah, and End of the Summer, yeah.
Go check out some shows. ALEC Benjamin, it's been a pleasure.
Thanks so much.
On We Found New Music.